You don't have to screen record.
Okay.
Oh, we are up. That's a problem, though. We're going to have to lower that sound,
It's so trippy because I have an echo.
huh? So this is what happens when you do this the first time.
Control button menu on. Inputs button. Volume up button. Volume down button. Volume up button. Press volume down. Press and hold back. Volume down button. Volume.
Stop talking, lady. There we go. All right. We're live with all sorts of technical issues addressed right off the bat,
Perfect.
which simply is just our awesome monitor that has no remote, so we have to manually do it and hear this person tell us what to do. Very annoying. But it seems like we're up, and whether you're watching now or watching later, we're glad to be doing our first live episode. So, Gabby, how was your weekend? Did you watch the fights? Did you watch them by yourself, or did you watch them with your crew? How'd it go down?
I actually watched them with my whole family. It was a family affair this weekend.
Really? Does that happen often, or
Not at all.
no?
They are very much not actually into the MMA scene.
Really? So, did you have to convince them?
I think I hyped up this card enough that they were like, okay,
All right.
we're going to watch this one.
Right.
But I mean, it was great.
I thought it was a great card. Honestly, I had high hopes, and then I'm like, these are sometimes the ones that end up kind of being, duds. But I enjoyed them. I enjoyed all the fights. So I actually started. Sometimes I just wait till later because it's simply too long of a night. But I wanted to watch Chase Hooper. He was in the early prelims, I think. So I put it on around that time, and then just kind of watched here and there as the fight card went on. To talk about him real quick, I don't know. The kid is so likable, I guess, that he's gotten such a following. Like the people were going crazy, like chanting his name and everything. And it's funny because he hasn't had the best performances in the UFC at all. The kid needs to bulk up. I feel like he like the difference in striking is obviously a huge deal. He's getting better. I think he's improving with every fight. But if he can't keep you on the ground, that's it. He's not going to win the fight any other way. So that leads me to believe that if you bulk up a little bit, maybe you can take a punch a little better. Maybe you can, power yourself through certain things that right now he doesn't seem to be doing very well. So anyway, I think he did okay. But he obviously didn't get the win. And who knows what's going to happen with him if he continues with this popularity or if he kind of, trails away. I think it was a lot cuter too when it was like him and Ben Askren pretending to be like father and son, but now that Ben Askren's out of the picture. I feel like I talk about Ben Askren every episode, but I don't know. There's a link. But we can start. Yeah, we can start. Let's start from the bottom here if you want to zoom in, if that's possible.
Sorry, I can't tell if I'm hearing a double echo. There definitely is a double echo.
A double echo. You hear yourself? You hear me talking twice? How is that possible? Hello? Yeah?
Yeah, I hear twice.
That's so weird. I don't know why I would do that. We don't have any other things up right now. All right. Well, let's just hope that the audio is fine.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. I think you might be having.
I think it was a me thing. Sorry, guys, it was a me thing.
Oh, you gotta love these figure it out podcasts. Anyway, it looks pretty good on here.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, let's see the card from the beginning so we can break it down a little bit. But you have a fun weekend otherwise?
Yes.
Good. So
right off the bat.
Right off the bat. Paul Craig's very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the face paint situation in the ceremonial weigh-ins drives me a little nuts. Anytime a grown man paints his face, even if it's a patriotic thing for where you're from. But then he like screamed in Hill's face, like just super aggressive. Well, he fought the same way and ripped his arm off. How about that thing flopping?
That was, yeah, I think Rogan was like, it looks like he's tapping, but it's
It's not.
backwards.
He,
I was like,
right. He
gross.
can't control his arm. It was at first, I knew he was in trouble. I knew his arm was going to go, but I couldn't really see it until I saw the replay. How he legit flipped the arm the other way.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Now, he didn't break it. He just dislocated it. So you got to assume the damage is still there, right? You don't dislocate your arm that badly without having any other things torn, I would think.
That's what they're talking about, ligaments and like the fact that it was
Yeah.
moving around like that.
Yeah,
Like,
that thing was just it was like decapitated. The arm, was that a thing?
I
Can you
don't
say
know how
that?
the ref didn't spot that earlier.
Now, do you think, just here we go. Stupid question number one. Do they stop the fight to protect the fighter from further injuries? Or do they stop it because they know the guy's not going to win? Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yes. So
What do you think? Because, if you think about it, if it's a dislocation in the corner nose and they pop that shit back into place, other people have pulled things out of place before and been kind of quickly fixed in the corner and then they go out to fight to win. No?
yeah, but it was like,
It was really bad, wasn't it?
number one, too early in the round. He would have had to fight.
Yeah.
Locked in a triangle.
He didn't debate it too much. Like I think he understood, hey, my arm's flopping. I can't do anything with this thing.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know. It's just would be a bummer to then leave and be like, oh, it was just dislocated.
Well, I think Craig was like, it's not my job to protect my opponent. It's the ref's job.
100%.
So it was like, yeah, I think the ref has to interfere too.
Yeah. And
because if it was just dislocated, then it's like, okay, let's stop it.
Right.
But now there's definitely ligaments and all that.
Right. Right. He's going to do more damage.
Yeah, there wasn't much he could have done, even with.
Yeah. Listen, I know all these fighters all obviously have that different mentality where they're, capable of basically killing you until somebody pulls them off. But what a bizarre fucking thing to do to another human being, to you're breaking the arm of the other person and you just keep on trucking.
Well, he let go of the arm.
He did before the stoppage.
That's why it started flapping because he wasn't because he did the arm bar.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Because then he had him with his legs, right? But he was still going. He was still trying to kill him.
Well, then he started punching him in the head because he was like, obviously,
if your arm is annoying me and it's starting to flop on me, so I'm gonna
with the heel hook, Tony Ferguson.
That is true.
If
right?
that didn't stop you, I got to do something else.
Right. You're right. But that was a good, for sure, a good way to start.
Yeah.
Craig definitely showing his anger issues on in this fight. Damian Maia versus Bilal.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. Damian Maia has a way to make other people. I'm probably going to be hated on a little bit for this because I think everybody likes Maia. I like Maia too, but that guy has a way to make even a good fighter look like shit too. What a fucking boring fight.
Well, especially.
Can we not do the same attempt a million times?
I know. That was.
Eventually
it'll work.
No, it won't. Even Rogan was like, I think you have to try something new. Maybe go for a double leg.
At least. Or chain it. That's, I feel like, the number one rule that I've learned in my brief wrestling experience is it's never the first takedown that works. It's not the second, it's the third, it's the fourth. You have to keep going.
Right.
Because it's all about getting your opponent off balance. And if you're just shooting for a single
for the same fucking thing,
standing there.
Yeah. And Bilal obviously showed that he has he's more than capable of defending that same attempt that you keep on doing and repeating that we have to sit through.
Yeah, that was.
And then Maia comes out, I think yesterday or today, saying that he wants his next fight, if they give him one, to be Nate Diaz, because he respects Nate Diaz and because he wants a worthy opponent, and that'll probably be his last fight. With that performance, who the hell is going to want to fight you in the top 5 or the top 10?
No. I know that's.
Whoever's going to fight Maya is because they want to prove themselves against a jiu-jitsu guy, you know, or they just like the name, or they want to go up in rankings.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a Nate Diaz to fight. Sorry, Maya. Do something different. You bored me. Bilal looked okay. He looked good. Yeah. He looked way better in the short amount of time that he fought. What's his face last time? Leon.
Yeah.
Like with the Leon fight, I was like, oh shit, Bilal like is legit. In this fight, I mean, like I said, I think Maya just made him look bad, but he couldn't put anything together. I think he was scared to throw kicks to not be grabbed, and he could never really get within the distance to do much damage with the striking. Honestly, Maya landed a couple better strikes than Bilal did.
It was, yeah, especially if you know that the guy's gonna do the same thing, throw up a knee. I don't know.
Yeah,
just brainstorming some other ideas.
Hit him with a knee on the way in. Yeah.
I don't know, but then you're always like, well, if he's done it
right,
he's definitely not going to do it the 10th.
Right. It's just you're playing this game of like, will he actually do it? Actually, I thought it was funny. Didn't Bilal like throw himself on the ground at one point with nothing happening, thinking that he was going to shoot? He sprawled by himself. Maya wasn't even close to him. Maya was like, oh, I guess I got you thinking.
Mind games.
Oh my god.
That counts as a takedown.
So I think that fight did nothing for either of the two guys. It doesn't help Bilal get a better fight. It doesn't help Maya get a final wonderful fight. So let's pretend we never saw that one. Moving on, Gabby. Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. Several things here. A lot of things here. I'm not going to even try to pretend that I'm going to break this down in a proper order, because there's a lot of thoughts. Nate Diaz is a fucking G.
Absolutely.
He was more on brand than ever in this fight. Almost so much that I thought he was fucked up in the fight. Like, he was acting so goofy that it was hilarious.
Well, that's what, and then but it was working, because every time he
it was fine. It was working, but it was funny. It was like, I mean, he was having fun in there for sure. But you know what? It made me. I kept on thinking, this feels like Nick. He had a very Nick vibe to him in this fight.
Definitely. And
now Nick was in this corner. Obviously, he wasn't in the corner, but he was backstage with them or whatever. And then, did you see that social media video? That sounded really old, huh? Did you see that thing on the interweb that Dana White posted and some other people posted ahead of the fight when they were training in the back?
No.
And Nick is like slowly chasing Nate and throwing like fake punches and like I don't know what he was teaching him in that moment. It was the most. Yeah, Nick looked 100. They both looked like they apparently consumed way too much marijuana before the fight. I don't know. It was just weird. But anyway, Nate Diaz cuts way too easily. I'm so happy the fight didn't get stopped because of a cut.
Yes.
That I was thrilled about. But this whole thing of squatting and looking over your shoulder and then running after you, it worked. Nate Diaz was smart to ask for a 5-round fight because it goes to show you there's no quit in him. I actually somebody made a really funny comment, and they said the Diaz brothers never lose. They just run out of rounds. Yep. This is fucking true. Because they're not quitting.
Yeah, so, if there was 6 rounds.
Dude, if that combination would have landed a minute earlier, Nate Diaz.
Well, even if he hadn't stopped and pointed at him and been like, got you. Like, if you just jumped.
Exactly.
That was so frustrating because I was like, you got him. Yeah. What are you? I was like, now's not the time for mind games.
Right. I jumped out of my seat. The only time in the night that I jumped out of my seat was that moment. I'm like, shit. There is a chance. There is, because it was. Oh, by the way, the fight was already good without it.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed it. We all knew he lost, but it was an enjoyable fight. So when that happened, I'm like, this is fucking it. Like, we're about to witness a huge upset. Hell yeah. Just didn't do it early enough. And it was a fucking 1-2. Like it was a very simple. Like he could have landed that way earlier in the fight too. Maybe it wouldn't have had that much damage because it was earlier and Leon, maybe it was, but so to me, that showed Leon can get hurt, right? Because he hasn't, he's in how many fights has he won straight? Is it 8 or 9? His last loss was against Usman. $10.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's a good streak. Mm-hmm. So what I think I think the Nate Diaz brand is brighter than ever. Mm-hmm. Nothing here, nothing different here. He can get whatever fight he can get next, next up. Leon Edwards looked good, was dominant, but I don't think he blew the fucking roof off the place with his abilities. Do you think he did?
I mean, it wasn't like he didn't do anything super spectacular, but I think he got his back. He got jiu-jitsu wise. He
showed that he was the dominant fighter.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
My point is that Leon is always somebody who's, for whatever reason, always been kind of like shelved a little bit, and I think it's just because he's a little bit of a dud. Like he's not super exciting, both in the way he communicates and
just his British accent.
He's British, which I'm joking. No, it's just, what I mean? Like he's too clean cut. Like there's just not much to him. You know what I mean? Except for he's a really good fighter. But my point, that doesn't really do much for who's next. So with a Nate Diaz, hey, listen, you have a fight that was worthy of talking about the next day, but it's not because of you. That's my point. It's because of Nate.
Yeah. Well, I think no matter what, it would have been, unless he knocked him out.
Yeah, but the BMF fight, Masvidal showed a lot more capability of stopping Nate and aggression, in a compared to Leon. I don't know. Two different type of fighters. He's very technical. Mm-hmm. He looked good. I'm just saying it's not like everybody's throwing names at him now. No. They're like, oh shit, I think Dana White might have said him versus Masvidal could be next, which is perfect. Because Masvidal's not at the highest right now. He just came off a knockout, and they have the 3-piece and a soda, from way back that they still need to resolve. So marketable, good name. It'll probably be a main event, pay-per-view, big deal. So, but that meaning Leon gets that treatment finally, without having to be given the champ. So,
because I think that's what Nate Diaz is like.
That's what Nate Diaz does. He's your ticket.
An honorable guy. Just calls out.
He's a what?
Honorable guy. Calls out a good fighter. And
yeah. Well, he called out a good fighter, and then he went on to congratulate him for the win. No shit talking. Apparently, behind the scenes, he told him that don't let these fuckers kind of dictate your future. Like, know what you're worth. Whether that's happened or not. Yeah. Nate Diaz is he's a good dude, but he's the one-way ticket into stardom.
100%.
If you fight well against them, the eyeballs are going to be on you, and people are going to like you that much more for it. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know that we see Nick Diaz fighting this year, but that's the rumor.
I know, it keeps popping up.
That could have a sad ending. Because I see Nate every single fight. Did we lose the stream?
You're back.
Huh? We're back?
Yes.
Okay. That was weird. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Yeah.
That was weird.
We are learning as we go. Anyway, this isn't going to get edited, so suck it up, people. My bad. I don't know why that happened. Anyway, I think that was the Earth's way of telling me to move on. Figaro versus Moreno.
I'm so happy. This was.
I know. I'm very happy. I thought of you during the fight because I knew you were riding hard with Moreno. What the fuck's up with Figaro?
I don't know. I was just sick of his. I feel like I was explaining. This is also selling the card to my parents. Mm-hmm. I said it's like a pro wrestling card. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In terms of especially the first, like the main two.
Yeah.
It is very clear bad guy, James Bond villain versus
Right.
good guy.
Yeah.
And he just turned himself into a villain.
Figaro. I'm gonna change the show name, by the way. It's gonna be Monday Hate with Will and Gabby. Stop being so corny, bro.
Wait, in regard
Figaro, his look, his whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
The sunglasses and the fucking James Bond music. Yo, you're so cheesy. Stop. Be a fight. By the way, come out with the Mike Tyson towel if you want. Like, come out with nothing is better than whatever the hell he thinks looks cool. It just makes me not like you. Anyway, Figaro. I don't like when I said it in the Thursday episode. I don't like when people make excuses. He made plenty of excuses last time. You're not going to come in here and do nothing, basically, get your ass whooped. Look, so what now? Now he's asking for the third fight? For what reason? Exactly. You looked horrendous. For such a dominant fighter that everybody says, he's too big for that weight class. He's so powerful. He's such a badass. He's going to hold this belt forever. Moreno said, okay, here you go. I'm going to train for 6 months since the last fight, and I'm going to go in there and get you out quick.
Exactly.
Moreno looked fantastic.
Incredible.
In every way, right? His striking was beautiful. His movement was beautiful. His takedowns were, his jiu-jitsu was, I mean, he was fucking perfect that night. So, now question. First Mexican champ. Wasn't Cejudo Mexican?
Apparently, I think I looked it up. It was like first Mexican born from Mexico.
Oh, that's real specific.
There's like the fine lines of.
So Cejudo has to basically say, it wasn't me because I'm technically not Mexican enough.
I was like, because I saw that stat. It was like first I was like,
yeah,
what? That's definitely not true.
Yeah, yeah. It seemed a little. Sometimes you're like, for a fact it's like a new record or something, and then sometimes you're like, I'm gonna have to investigate this one. Yeah, but anyway, still a huge win for Mexico and for him, and it's awesome.
He was there with a big mural up of him.
I saw that. Was that true? Was that real? Who the fuck painted that quick? I think that was Photoshop. I think that was Photoshop, Gabby.
I hope not.
I think that was Photoshop. I think you got suckered. I did see it, but it's the same picture from the win with the belt. Like the
people paint fast.
I think maybe it was a photo and they were at the wall. They do that. That you can do in 24 hours. You're not painting a fucking mural in 24 hours.
Well, I saw you today.
48 hours. It's aggressive.
I don't know.
It's aggressive, Gabby. Works. Investigate that one. You investigate Mexico, but you don't investigate the mural.
But anyway.
Yeah. Well, he
choking him out, making him tap. Definitely disposed.
I didn't think it was going to go that way. I thought he'd knock him out before he would put him out that way.
So good.
I don't know. So I would love to see Garbrandt versus Moreno. Because that could be a fucking scrap. You know what I'm saying? I think that has potential for like big fight. Yeah. Like big draw, big money. Yeah. Thank God I don't have to hear James Bond for a little bit. Goodbye, Figaro. Goodbye. Rework your image and then come back.
Honestly, just stop being weird.
Stop being weird. Stop being weird. Do you think they know they're weird? By the way, I'm not trying to be mean.
I am. I'm just kidding.
Okay, Gabby, she's being mean. No, like I'm not saying it with any mean thoughts. I just think that people should have people around them who tell them what looks ridiculous.
Well, it's the whole. I think they're trying to play the trash talk game, but they're going cartoony with it because they're like.
Right.
Instead of actually just speaking what they're saying, they're like, "Oh no, he's trying." I'm like,
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, cheesy people are cheesy people, I know. And when they try to be tough, they're so cheesy.
I can't.
You know.
I would probably look like a James Bond villain if I tried to be.
You would go out with James Bond?
No, I wouldn't want to, but I would definitely look stupid. Like.
Everybody looks stupid with a fucking movie soundtrack when you come out. Why don't you come out with a Rocky one too? Let's do that.
Just
Let's
make
do that
it.
next. Yeah.
100%.
Next Philly fighter who fights in the big stage, use the
Well,
the
no,
Rocky.
there was like the Brazilian fighter came out with the Rocky song. I was like, what?
I'm gonna definitely get a lot of Brazilian fans right now.
No.
These type of countries, I feel like are a little behind on the American pop culture, or just have a different appreciation for the old school stuff, and that, you know what I mean, and that they like it. They think it's still cool. Meanwhile, over here, we're like, do not come up with Celine Dion. It's not popular anymore. The Titanic soundtrack is not going to work for you when you fight.
It's a classic.
It is a classic, but that's my point. It's a classic. It is not a current.
Yeah. I mean,
That was the same thing with Pacquiao. I know Brazil and the Philippines are very different. But what I'm saying is, shit. I should stop. Okay. Before the camera shuts off again, telling me to move on. Izzy versus Vettori. Yo, Izzy looked good.
Yeah, you look great.
He looked really good. He looked dominant in every way. Why did Vettori think that he won that fight?
Because he's also a James Bond villain.
Because he's Italian. I'm just joking.
I know. The half Italian in me wanted to root for him, but I could not. Not even an ounce of me.
He tried really hard to sell the Italy thing and to get people behind him for that reason. But I don't think the American Italians converted too well. What do you think? Do you think he had a lot of fans behind him? Like American Italian fans?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, yeah.
He's a cool looking dude. Like, if you see, meaning like as a fighter image, once he starts talking.
With the round sunglasses with the suit at the press conference, I was like, I don't know what you're going for.
The things he was saying, like that press conference was silly as shit.
Also, especially like I would like visually him, Moreno, Diaz on the table on the one side.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was such a bizarre. It looked like
that
the
was
most
weird.
Random collection of people.
You're right. Yeah.
So,
like they didn't belong together at all. Yeah.
But yeah, he was saying he was gonna like out wrestle him and like smother him. Like
he did better the first time around.
Yeah.
Izzy definitely has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
I actually believe that his loss at 205 made him a much better fighter in his weight class. Because if you can have that Polish Nightmare, is that his nickname? Polish Nightmare? Did I just make that up?
Power.
It's something like that, right? If you have that big ass dude on top of you, and you learn from that. So then when Vettori tried to get on him, it's like, bro, relax. You're not gonna be able to hold me down.
Well, yeah, that's what he was saying. It's like, oh, who have you even beat? Like that?
Everybody.
I was like,
everybody.
He's probably the one guy, especially. You're like, you what?
He was saying, that's what I'm saying. He was saying some silly ass shit.
Yeah.
Like, who have you fought? I mean, even Izzy was like, what? You mean anybody and everybody?
Yeah.
Including the champ?
Some of the biggest names. Like, what? So, yeah, I think he also just looked, I mean, and of course, this is, my mom always jokes about, like, why do fighters feel the need to stand in between rounds?
To stand?
Yeah, because I was like, well, it's like,
instead of sitting?
Intimidation. Like, I'm not tired.
Yeah.
But I was like, Vittori, you can sit down, bro.
Well, you know why? Because I think Izzy always stands. And he was
Mhm.
probably trying to say, like, I'm not tired. You're tired.
Bro, but we know you're the one that's tired.
He was a little, yeah. He seemed a little gassed after the third, right? Vittori should fight Paulo Costa next. The two cheesy muscle heads should fight, because they both act like little kids when they don't get their way. And Vittori's behavior throughout this whole fight, and even with the last loss, was almost like a little embarrassing. Like, hey, dude, just you're a professional fighter. Relax. Mm-hmm. You're gonna fight him. Beat him. And if you don't beat him, okay, move on. Costa's the same way. I was drunk. I drank too much wine.
Which also, I'm like, drinking on the job.
That's anywhere. On you. That's on you, bro. It's on you. When have you drank on the job and it's worked out for you?
Yeah.
Anyway, Izzy was funny. He gave him a couple butt cheek squeezes. I thought that was funny. he said something to him at the end, and Vittori's response made him roll his eyes harder than I've seen anybody roll their eyes, which I thought was hilarious. In my head, the conversation went like, great job, but I told you I was going to beat you. And Vittori probably said, I'm making this up. And Vittori probably said, no, you didn't. I won. And then he rolled his eyes extremely hard.
Well, yeah, that's what even in the octagon is he was like, yeah, no, this is like martial arts. Like, this is about respect.
Yep.
And you just didn't,
Yep.
you just don't have any ounce of that.
He then came out and said, I thought I won the fight. So he's obviously delusional.
Like, well, yeah, even like watching, like, what were you watching? Bro.
And I think his corner was being pretty honest, right? Wasn't his corner telling him that he needed is it Cordero? His coach? Yeah, you don't have to look it up if you don't want. But that's Gaslam's coach. That's Mike Tyson's coach. Badass coach. Telling, am I thinking of the wrong fight, or was it Vittori's corner? Anyway, if it wasn't Vittori's corner, it was another corner. But Cordero was saying, you lost that round. Mm-hmm. You need to win the next one. That's not working. Like, dude, when once again, you got to be delusional. You're not listening to your corner. Mm-hmm. I don't know. He seemed very like Izzy had a great distance. He kept the distance really well. Vittori was swinging and missing, coming in with 3-punch combinations, missing them all.
I know, and then Izzy started doing the showmanship stuff, and I was like,
yeah, that means you're comfortable. You're good. Yeah.
So I don't know what's next for Vittori. Other than
Costa, I'm telling you.
I mean, if you called it, that would I.
I'm telling you, he's going to be Costa. I already talked to him today. I'm sure. Izzy versus Whitaker doesn't get me too excited. Mm-hmm. I like Whitaker. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Whitaker has created enough reason for why he should fight him again. But there's something about like these kind of very quick rematches when it's such a dominant performance the first time around that doesn't really get me. That was like Stipe and Ngannou, which if they would have listened to me, Stipe would still be the champ. But whatever.
You're gonna listen to me.
No, because like what does Izzy have to fight Whitaker for? He dominated him in his homeland and took his belt. Why do you want to fight him again? Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see why Whitaker wants the belt. Yeah. So my point is, like, how's that going to end? Are you going to lose this time around, just like Stipe did? Or are you going to win again the same way, and we just paid basically twice for the same fucking fight? I'm probably alone on this conversation, aren't I?
I mean, yeah, and then you can always, it's a hard one, because you want to just like the whole, I want to prove that nothing would change and blah, blah. Because I think that, when did they fight?
If it was a lucky punch, it wasn't a lucky punch. He was whooping him.
No, I know. But yeah, I mean, like, we were all excited for
They fought like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah. How old is Whitaker?
Whitaker has old man face, but he's not old. He's like 30, I think, at most. I remember always thinking he was an older fighter just by looking at him. We have this conversation at home all the time. And it's, is he old and is he mixed race? My wife thinks he's mixed race every time. And I'm like, I have to remind her, I'm like, no, he's not. He just has coarse hair like me, but he's not Puerto Rican. I like Whitaker though. I like his demeanor. I like his whole vibe, and obviously a fucking great fighter. So yeah, I mean, it'll be a good fight, but I'm just saying, you got to give me something. Give me a challenge that excites me. I don't know who that is, but
yeah, I think when you're so dominant, like Izzy is, you're like,
yeah.
Well, it's the same with Amanda Nunes, like,
right, bores me too. Like, who are they going to throw your way? Izzy versus Nunes. No.
Someone up in a lab for them.
Yeah, I don't know. Or do like a 2 fights in one night kind of deal, like PFL. No, I'm just okay. All right. Overall, it was a good night of fights. I enjoyed them. What do we have? Any current events or anything for next week?
I don't have another fight night coming up.
Oh, Korean Zombie versus Aiki. That's next. Mm-hmm. This weekend coming up.
Yeah, the 19th.
I feel like I just heard about this fight.
I know, because they really.
Right. I like Aiki. And Chang Sung Young. Did I pronounce that properly? He's always great to see. His fight with Ortega was solid. Yeah, I think I got Iggy on this one though.
Mhm.
Onik versus Spivak. Tim Means versus Danny Roberts. Cheeto Vera versus Davey. Can you go down again real quick? Can I be honest?
Mhm.
Don't really know many of these people.
Yeah.
Matt Brown's fighting again. I mean, no, I know them, but like,
Mhm.
it's like you know one, but then the next one you don't know.
Yeah.
And then after that is Volkov.
But
Yeah, I don't know. This 7 p.m. I'll maybe watch it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
we'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't have excitement written all over it, but you never know. How about that other fight in the prelims? The guy who I didn't know who the hell he was, and Chris was saying he was good. He knocked the guy out with 2 punches. There's like one of the fastest knockouts ever. Tell me you didn't miss this one. Well, his story is, I don't know. This is oh yeah. This is in backwards order though. It was after the Hooper fight.
Was it on the prelims or the?
I think the prelims, not the early. Or it might have been in the main event. The first fight in the main event. No. All right. Either way, the kid comes out and lands a 1-2 and drops him immediately.
Dang.
And won the fight. Started crying. 2 things about this guy.
Mhm.
One, he says to Rogan, "I hope I can share my story with you on the podcast." And Joe Rogan's response was, "Yeah, maybe someday." Which I thought.
Oh wait, Terrence McKinney.
Yes.
7 second.
Yes.
No.
So, did you hear his story before this?
No.
He took mushrooms,
Oh God.
went crazy, slit his neck. There's video of the police when they found them all fucked up and like completely hallucinating, obviously, and died twice on the way to the hospital.
Oh my God.
And then performed like this. So kids, don't do drugs.
But if
you do,
then
become a professional
UFC
fighter. The moral of the story is fighting fixes everything. Wait, no.
No.
That's not what I meant. Oh, I think Burrell's not going to be on the show anymore.
Oh no. Oh, because he's in like major fight camp now.
No, because he didn't fucking respond to my text yesterday. I was sending him I was sending him shirt designs.
Yes, he's in fight camp.
I know. But he's still he has a very important responsibility to commit to the show. So he's going to be here, weight cut and all. He'll be here. I promise. But no, I was sending him. I want to make shirts for that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to run the ideas by him. And when Petrosky was here, he kept on coming up with horrible ideas for shirt designs. And he kind of made it difficult because he keeps on saying he wants a bang shirt for Burrell with a firework on it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, bro. I tried. It's not going to happen. So I was coming up with all these shirt designs. I thought that we got farther away. But then, so he responded like he liked the one that I sent to both of them. Probably shouldn't have on the chat because they just led to other conversation. Mm-hmm. But then I did a whole new one and I sent it to him and I thought he would respond back, but he didn't. So I don't know if he liked it or hated it. So I'm going to show it to you. So didn't he call himself a brute in an episode?
Sounds like something.
He's like, I'm a brute. Like, I'm not like, so I kind of like that. So the shirt says it's brute social, like a kind of like a social, like we're just socializing in a social club while being brutes.
Fancy.
And then it says join or die from the famous Benjamin Franklin thing with the snake incorporated.
Benjamin Franklin.
Mr. Franklin. This is the Mr. Franklin edition. But you tell me, I got 2 options here. Can you see if I show it to you like this? So that one.
Oh, that's cool.
With like, it would be like goldish sort of lettering. or something a little more aggressive with a bigger brute and the logo small on the top.
You do logo on the back.
It costs more money.
Ah.
What you like better out of those two? Out of curiosity.
I
You
think
like the
probably-
bigger or the smaller?
I think I like the bigger one with
The bigger brute?
Because I don't like. You would either have to have them equal size next to each other, or I like the one on top. You know what I mean?
And then the original one I sent him, which was like very early on in the playing around with the design ideas, was just to do a cage side join or die shirt.
That's cool.
Because I thought, in the Mr. Franklin's famous words, you join the podcast or you die. Perhaps too aggressive.
Not according to me personally, but I'm going on record.
And that's how it would look on the shirt. Sort of.
That's cool.
So I don't know. Just playing around with ideas. But I would love to come to a conclusion soon. Get a couple shirts made for Mr. Burrell, ourselves, and anybody else who wants a shirt. So
yeah,
I'm working on it.
Below any sayings or ideas. Comment below sayings, ideas for shirts.
Comment below.
Let us know. We're on live. So
we are on live. Let us know right now. Listen, you might not be able to get your message across because there's how many thousands are currently viewing?
At least 1 million.
So the chats are just too quick for us to follow.
So busy.
It's
It's exhausting over here.
What's that? Can you even keep up?
It's exhausting.
Yeah. You're going to need a break after this. No, but let us know. Let us know if you would actually, once I come to a conclusion of a shirt, I think I'll do a poll and see if people would be interested in getting one.
Yeah.
And if nobody responds, I'm going to share fake results.
I have the graphic design power. I get
Of course I do. You know what I'm going to do? On the next slide story, I was going to say, sold out. Too late.
Before any shirts are made.
Yeah, sold out. We're done. So shirts or hats will be coming, or both. I'm working on it. I think it'll be fun to be able to give some away and for you to share your support for the show because we need to make money.
It's like there's so.
This show's about transparency. It's completely about transparency. We're growing. The numbers are looking good.
Keep subscribing. Keep
you
sharing.
need to subscribe right now.
Yeah,
I got some arm flap today. You need to subscribe. So which arm is? So subscribe over there. Would it be over there?
No. The other way.
Yeah, it's over here on this side. See, look at my arm flap. All right, we're watching this in delay. So this is
mine's reverse.
Oh, yours is reversed.
Look, I'm looking at the one that we're recording on, and then the one that's the viewer.
Yeah, but look at me pointing to the right place. All right. Anyway, this makes no sense because you're watching it current and we're watching it backwards. But yes,
we're 5 seconds in the future.
Yes,
we know all.
We're advanced. Subscribe, please subscribe. Take somebody's phone, go on YouTube, and subscribe for them. They won't know the difference because the thing is, you subscribe, it does nothing. It helps us. It does nothing for you. You don't have to watch the show. Just subscribe. So if you like us, subscribe. If you don't like us, also subscribe. If you know somebody with a smart device, subscribe. Any other reason to subscribe or any other way we can make people subscribe? If you've ever heard of us, subscribe.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen.
If you like anyone that we've had on the show, you should subscribe because then we can get them back or even, cool guests, even cooler guests. I didn't expect to have to pitch this.
You're pitching hard. What else? Yeah, so if you like us, like personally, subscribe. If you don't like us personally, subscribe because it's your rebellious choice.
I've never met you.
If you like my shirts, subscribe. If you don't like my shirts, also subscribe. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you want Burrell to continue coming on the show, you must subscribe because that guy doesn't even want to have an Instagram, let alone be a successful podcast host. Mm-hmm. So let's make sure we subscribe and force him to make this career change.
I think it's only fair.
Yeah. Did I make it very obvious I want people to subscribe?
I think so.
You know, another thing you can do
is
you can share it. Mm-hmm. You can post your favorite moments from it. You know what I really like? When people share with me how they're watching the show. I don't know why. It makes me happy. When somebody sends me a screen grab of them watching it while working out or like on their TV or on their pumps me up. Gets me excited. Gets me into the studio to do this. Otherwise, I'd quit. I had to put, since nobody said that recently, I had to post my own phone while I was having coffee. Now, but I do that because I want to make sure these episodes have gotten so big file wise that it's a nightmare. It takes almost 2 hours to export and an hour and 40 minutes to upload to YouTube. Then it has to process. It's like watching paint dry. So then I just give up. I'm not going to watch it again. Like I just edited it. I just uploaded it. So then I usually the next day watch it or put it in the background just in case anything weird happened with the video. I can go back and fix it and spend another 4 hours uploading it. So anyway.
What you do for the craft.
What I do for the craft. This is all for you people. And for me, because it makes me happy. So I think we can wrap this up because I am rambling.
Yeah,
and
episode.
First live episode in the books.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be watching this later today to see if it worked. James is coming on this week.
Stay tuned.
We have a couple people lined up for the next couple weeks, I think. So
subscribe so you stay up to date
Yeah.
on all of our new guests.
Yeah. Actually, if you're subscribed, you also get the alert on your phone that we're about to go live, which is kind of cool.
Just saying.
So that is a reason to subscribe. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us on this live first edition. I apologize for weirdness, technical hiccups, or anything. It'll only get better from here. Watch and share and fucking subscribe. All right. We're done.